What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. It's been a while, but we're back with a brand new video here from our friends over at EVBase. This is the real carbon fiber spoiler red line edition in glossy finish. It's for the Model 3 and Model Y. As always, EVBase has top-notch packaging. You can see here the spoiler came heavily protected in some custom fit foam. You have some bubble wrap around the spoiler itself, and then you have your installation kit here, and we'll go through the contents shortly. So inside the pouch, you have a roll of blue painter's tape that's going to assist you with lining up your spoiler for installation and keeping it in place as the double-sided tape cures. Next, you have a full roll of VHB very high bond double-sided tape in case you have to reapply the spoiler at any point in the future, or you want to add some extra additional support. You have a full roll of tape here to do so. Next in the pouch, we have some adhesion promoter. This is your primer, cyclohexane. You have 2 wipes for your application, which is more than enough. Then you have your instruction guide, as well as some other accessories from EVBase. Then you have this up-down directional sticker that is a guide sticker for your spoiler for orientation purposes. And now we'll check out the actual spoiler. It does come wrapped nicely in some extra protective bubble wrap. And you can see here the glossy finish is super nice. The red line is absolutely stunning. I really can't wait to get this onto the car. While we're waiting, check out evbase.com. Use code TOPSHELFTESLA. Right now they're running their Black Friday Cyber Monday deal. You could save an additional 20% off your entire order using code TOPSHELF at checkout. So not only grabbing this spoiler, but you can grab anything else on evbase.com and save yourself a whole bunch of money. So looking at the finish here, the red line is painted neatly across. You've got plenty of double-sided tape. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the installation. Installation is pretty straightforward. It does require a little bit of prep work. Now on our Model 3, we currently have a spoiler already installed that is the same design, which is the performance style spoiler. This is a PPSW pearl white style spoiler. So just for reference, I'm going to show you how this was installed, and then we're going to actually remove this and prepare for our carbon fiber spoiler installation. First thing we want to do is I'm going to mark the edges of the spoiler. Now, if you don't have an existing spoiler, you want to measure about 4.5 inches from your panel gap there, the edge of the trunk lip. Just mark it with some tape. Now, if you don't have a spoiler on your car, you can just mark this edge. However, it's easiest for you to define it when you're applying the spoiler. For me, I'm just reusing the existing edge. But you want to go about 4 inches to 4.5 inches from the edge. And again, the spoiler that I have on is an exact size copy of the new one. Going over to the other side. So I've removed the spoiler now, and I've used some Goo Gone to get rid of the residual adhesive. And it is a little bit tough to do this in some cold weather, so I did have to scrub it pretty thoroughly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clay bar this as well. That's optional for you if you don't want to. So now we're going to take our spoiler and we're just going to dry fit, line it up onto the trunk lid. You can see there's ample double-sided tape that will allow very good adhesion. And as you're dry fitting the spoiler, it should fall right into place where it belongs without much play. So you can see I could actually just put it on there without touching it and it stays. So I've got a pretty good line here. So my markings are good. And now if you use this guide sticker here, what you can do is put it on the edge of the spoiler, and that will allow you to remember the orientation and also mark the corner of the spoiler as you dry fit it onto the trunk lip. You don't have to use this if you don't want to, it's optional. It is helpful, it just gives you an idea of where to line up that edge. And if you do use it, you can just stick it down like that. We're going to take our painter's tape that was included in the kit, and we're going to dry fit our spoiler again. Make sure you've got it the right way up. It'll only go on one way, so if you make that mistake, you could just flip it over. So now I'm lining up both corners by eye. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the roll of painter's tape and I'm going to make myself a center guide. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a piece of the painter's tape and start at the trunk and then drape it down over the edge of the lip of the spoiler. And that's going to give me my midline. So I'm just going to crease the tape where the spoiler and the trunk meet. I'm going to take a straight edge, either a razor blade or something that can cut the tape. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to just separate that tape cleanly. And what this will do is this will give you your midline reference. So when you're actually applying the spoiler with the adhesive exposed, by lining up that piece of blue tape with the piece of tape that's left on the trunk, you'll have a perfect center. Now you can take your adhesion promoter. I recommend clay barring or at least cleaning off your trunk lid before you use this promoter. It's not a cleaner, it's just to promote the double-sided tape from sticking. And go ahead and give this a good wipe. I used both packages. You can use one. It is cyclohexene, so you might want to use gloves if you're sensitive to it. It does turn your skin a little bit white for a few minutes. But these are pretty minimally soaked. All right, so now we've got our spoiler and we're ready to apply it to the trunk lid. So you can begin to peel back the red plastic covering from the double-sided tape. And I recommend just peeling back about 6 to 7 inches from the beginning of the tape and expose both the top and bottom pieces. That will allow you to get grip on the one edge as you work your way across. And you can see there I have the blue line that I did. So we're going to match up that center line with the blue tape on the trunk. That will give us our center. And you'll see as I press that spoiler into place, it lines up perfectly. And now I'm going to start to expose that tape by pulling the red covering. Now take your time here, go slow. Peel it all the way across. Make sure you have both red plastic films. And my adhesive is now starting to engage the trunk lip. So with our roll of painter's tape, we're going to put some tension on the spoiler so that the adhesion can really set in. So as you can see in the video, I'm just putting some pieces right across the edge of the spoiler. Make sure you have enough tape at the top and bottom, but you want to make sure that it's a nice tight fit. So really pull the bottom portion up against the trunk. And the purpose of this tape is to keep the spoiler in place as the adhesive sets. Now, I recommend a minimum of 2 hours of curing time before driving. Optimum would be around 6 to 24 hours. So if you have nowhere to go for the day, that would be ideal. But if you do have to drive a minimum of 2 hours, and as you can see, we're peeling off the corners here. We don't need those guides anymore. The spoiler is now curing onto the trunk lid. We're going to go on the other side. You can go right over that center guide with some tape. And there's no such thing as too much here. You can use that whole roll of painter's tape if you want. You really want to make sure that that spoiler is fixed down and cures in the right spot. This will eliminate any chances of it lifting or not curing properly. And really focus on the edges, on the corners. Even the OEM performance spoilers do lift at that spot over time, so you really want to make sure that you tape that down well. We've got it all taped up. I'm going to put another piece here on the end. And now we've got our post-install checklist. So as I said earlier, you want to allow a minimum of 2 hours of drying time. Do not drive the car while the spoiler adhesive is curing. That is very important. And I recommend installing the spoiler in 60 degrees weather or warmer. And now it's time for my final thoughts on this spoiler. EVBase really has a phenomenal product here. This carbon fiber weave was flawless. There were no defects in it. The red line painting is superb. It is very even. There's no blemishes. It goes point to point without any breaks. Overall, it really enhances the look of the car. If you have a red, white, or black Model 3 or Y, especially if you have a performance, I would actually swap out the performance OEM spoiler for this one to match the caliper on the performances. But overall, high quality product here. Highly recommend it. Go ahead and check out EVBase.com. They've got a lot of great products. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, smash that bell, ring that bell, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care for now. Peace out.